Director of the Northeast Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McCarty, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 or 10-814-MD.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in today. Well, interesting morning we're going to have today. Now, you've been hearing an awful lot about the president out on the West Coast doing this and doing that, and guess what? The president will be calling our show this morning. Now, it's a first for sure, but you probably think I'm talking about that other president. The president's going to be calling us today is the president and CEO of the company we've been featuring here now for the last 3 weeks. It's called Boresha, and the president and CEO, Mr. George Najjar, will be calling in today. So wipe your mind clear from about the other president for now. You're going to get in the element with me and have a chance to meet this president. First time it's ever happened on this show. We're talking about a company that is going ballistic. It's going meteoric. And it's happening right here in your backyard. I'm really proud to be associated with Boresha. It is a one-of-a-kind company with one-of-a-kind products and a one-of-a-kind president that will take his time at 5 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast to get in touch with you, Pittsburgh. Hope you enjoy. Mr. George Najjar is going to be our guest today. Now, we'll clear some things off and move rapidly along whenever we complete our segment with the president, Mr. Najjar. We will bring you right up to speed and allow you to come in and comment and give you the lineup of things to come for the rest of the month of July as well as the month of August. But we don't like to keep presidents waiting, if you know what I mean. And we have the opportunity now to really make an introduction that so rarely happens in my entire life, let alone on this radio show. But I'm just tickled pink that the gentleman that we're now going to speak to has taken the time out of a pretty busy evening, because it really never ends with this guy, and more than likely a very busy day in front of him to spend some time with you. I'm talking about the president, the CEO of Boresha International. His name is Mr. George Najjar. He is our guest this morning. I'd like to say good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Najjar.
Good morning, good morning.
You sound pretty cheerful to me, Mr. President.
How could I not be? I'm here with you.
Oh, you have a way with words, George. I hope you mind if I call you George? It seems like everybody else does. Well, I should not.
Absolutely, please.
Well, Mr. Najjar, George, President, CEO, I really am honored that you'll take the time to spend some time with us today. But, you know, I really shouldn't be surprised. I can remember, and you may not even realize this, on the weekend just before launch, you know, July 7th launch, they had a bunch of pre-launches going on in various areas of the country. One was happening in our backyard. And as some of the representatives were coming through Pittsburgh, I got one call from Joe. You know who I mean when I say Joe, Mr. Giuliano. And he said, you know what? I got an opportunity. Would you like to say hello to George? And I go, well sure. And he patched me right through to you, and you were nice enough to spend a few moments with me. About 20 minutes after the call, we only had 5 minutes together on the phone, I meet up with Dr. Mitsos, and I said, by the way, I just got off the phone with somebody named George. Who is George? And when he reminded me that, well, he said, George is the owner and president of the company, I just stopped right there, and I smiled and shook my head. I have to plead ignorance. I didn't know I was speaking to the president that day. I've known a couple of times since then that I've spoken to you. You've been always so cordial, but I thought I'd pass that bit of humor on because I don't get to meet presidents too often. I mean, Kiwanis, Lions Club. It just doesn't happen to have a real president here today. I'm tickled pink. Thanks, George, for coming aboard this morning.
Well, I really appreciate that, Dr. Courtney. It's good to be here.
I want my listeners to know you a little better. It appears that you have such a background in the automotive world. I mean, that's where it all started for you. So, if you could bring my listeners and literally me up to speed on your background, on your bona fides along the way, and then there's a change that occurs. You leap from the automotive world into something, and I'm going to ask about how that leap occurred. But tell me about, you were like the top guy with selling various automobiles in the entire country. Did I get that part right, George?
Yeah, actually, I immigrated to the United States in 1984. I was born and raised in Lebanon. When I came to the U.S., I didn't speak English. I had no money, but I had big heart and big dreams. So went to school, became an electronics engineer. And true story, I went to apply for a job, and, I got offered $2,800 a month, and I knew then I was not born to this world in purpose to be an engineer, because I knew I was a lot more into opportunities, if you will.
You had more worth than that, I guess, is what you thought.
A lot more than exactly. And went back to school to get my MBA degree in general management and finance. And I needed to earn about $5,000 a month to pay for my tuitions for my grad school. So that's how I started selling cars. Really, it was by mistake. I didn't know that I was going to find a niche, and I did. And started selling BMWs and became number one in the country and did pretty well.
What a line to be selling anyway, and to be the number one guy in the country. Knowing about you now, it certainly doesn't surprise me. You were destined for stardom no matter what you got involved with. But how that came about with moving from what you thought was going to be an engineering career into sales. How many years did you spend in the automobile industry?
20 years.
20
started
years.
My own dealerships. I had a couple of them with a couple of partners. We did pretty well. We became the 7th largest independent dealership in California. But truly, Boresha started even though I had no experience in the industries that Boresha is in today, which is network marketing, health and wellness, and so forth.
What was the transition there, George? Because it is quite a transition from sales of automobiles made by others, and what a fantastic line BMW is. But did a light go off one day and you said, you know what, I think I had enough of this and I want to move? How did that transition occur? Because it's an abrupt change.
Well, there's actually a pretty cute story behind that. You want to hear it, I take it, yes?
Oh, please, tell us all.
Okay. So I came home one day, and I have a gorgeous wife who's 41 years old, but she looks like she's 18, for heaven's sake. The 3 beautiful little, kids, 2 girls and a boy. So I came home one day, and my wife was in tears, crying pretty darn hard, and she couldn't breathe, in fact, and I'm not a doctor like you. I didn't know what the heck I was going to do except call 911. So finally, when she got better and she was able to speak, I said, okay, honey, what's going on? What happened? She said, listen, I've got what I've got most women in this world would love and die to have. Got a beautiful bank account, beautiful, expensive home, nice cars in the driveway, pretty nice inner circle, top 10 public schools, 3 godly, healthy children. And she went on and on. She said, that's all great, but the one thing I want most out of life I don't have, and that's you. I don't know who you've become anymore. Intellectually, you and I are completely disconnected. We live in different worlds. And truly, as a hard-working businessman, because I love working hard, I've been working hard all my life, it's become part of my life. It's become a habit. So in my book, I was doing the right things, not just providing, but really providing for my family, And her books, her and I speak different languages, and that's when reality hit. And it hit me like a million-pound brick when I met with my entire family, my wife and 3 kids. and asked them a lot of questions to discover that none of my children, even though they're young now, but none of them, when they grow older in this world and become responsible people in the societies, they're not interested in any way, form, and shape to take over what I was building, which is car dealerships. They had no interest. They didn't care about it. They didn't understand the language. They hated it. So that's when I discovered that, I was building fortune in a nice bank account, but I'm not making change to this world. I'm not building a legacy for my children to take over at some point. What I do has no added value and benefit to the many out there. And that's when I knew that truly I'm not honoring my maker, nor my family name, and nor creating positive change in this world. All I was focused on was myself, and I knew a change needed to be made. That's truly the story, how it all happened. The reason I chose the industry of ours are many. If you want to go into that,
Oh, yeah. You know what? First of all, that isn't a cute story. That's like hitting the gut story. And I don't know if many have come to that crossroads before and made the turn that you made. So, first of all, to make the realization that you did, I think is unique. It's not cute. It's unique. And then to say, you know what? I'm going to take this off in another direction. You have no awareness of. You don't know anything about the coffee diet world thing. The next question I'll ask you is the obvious one: how did you get into creating something called Boresha? Where did that come from?
A lot of people ask me to start writing the book. It's in my head, but I've been so busy I haven't had the time. It's been a great journey of 7 years. It's been amazing evolution. But initially, even though I had no experience whatsoever of the industry of direct sales and network marketing, I did not like it. In fact, I hated it. I'm an engineer, very analytical and very much into conventional business. However, when I looked into the mission, my mission, day one, was to create something, find something truly where my wife and I could do together, grow together intellectually, vocally, and every other areas in our life. Also build fortune. But I knew at that point that I needed to make a difference in this world. It wasn't just about money. I make money, money doesn't make me. So truly I went in on that journey and started researching numerous industries, going, what can I do where I can make a difference in my city, in my neighborhood, in my state, in our country here in the U.S., and not only here, go elsewhere around the world. What are those vehicles with opportunities that I can create where I'm not thinking about myself, because God has given me great talents of coaching people, mentoring people, aiding people get to their goals, short-term, mid-term, long-term. I enjoy that. So when I figured, the only industry where I can focus on other people and help many get what they want, whether it's, regarding their health, regarding their finances, it doesn't matter. If I can help people with their self-esteem, self-confidence to become better, stronger, more confident, their belief in themselves and abilities is better, they can knock the world out no matter what they do in this life. So that's really the journey I went in on, and the only industry I could do that in is in network marketing. Truly, the name Boresha, I had a completely different business model than coffee. And it had to do with the automobile industry, because I had mastered the art and science of the automobile industry. Of course, 20 years of great experience.
Yeah.
So I had created a business model to combine the car business with network marketing. I had a cup of coffee in my hand, a triple grande, non-fat, extra hot, no mocha from Starbucks. My car used to know its way to Starbucks. As we know, 58% of adults in the United States drink coffee habitually. I am one of them. I love coffee. I have to have a cup of coffee in my hand almost all the time. Just holding the cup of coffee in my hand mentally makes me feel alert before the caffeine goes in my body. It's all psychological. That's me. So I had that in my hand, and I met up with a friend of mine I had met in the industry of network marketing. He knew it. I didn't. So I wanted to pick his brain and share with him my business model. Met with him and a few other fellows in his home, and 5 minutes later, I take a sip of my mocha. He looked at me and he said, "How about coffee?" And truly,
No, that's how it happened.
that is exactly how it happened. And I had no idea it was coming. My idea was out the window split second, and all I could think about with a huge smile on my face was coffee.
That is fun. That is wild. Now, okay, one thing is that story I'll never forget, and happening coming from your lips is going to solidify it even greater in my own mind. But coffee then transitions into the industry of health, medical awareness of challenges to health, obesity. There's a leap there that not too many people make when talking about coffee. How did that little leap jump into the equation, if you don't mind?
No problem. You know what, Dr. Courtney, this is the work of the universe, you may want to call it. That's what I call it. I'm just a simple man who, one thing led to the other. Truly, in the beginning, I stumbled my way into it. I did not plan it in the beginning. Now, I do come from a family that's very educated and into medical research and science. My oldest brother is a very well-known physician. He's a rheumatologist, internal medicine. He's also chief physician for the largest oil company hospital in the world. My oldest sister, Dr. Sonia Najjar, she founded her own diabetes laboratory at University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio, and she's been there for over 21 years now. She's a PhD graduate from Stanford. She became professor in diabetes, and she went to National Institute of Health, where she met her husband. He was her boss. He was the professor of diabetes at NIH, Dr. Domenico Acili, who is the head of the Diabetes Center at Columbia University in New York today and for the last 20 years. So I am very blessed and fortunate. I am part of the world of, with my
what a family
circle. So truly, I had a delicious cup of coffee. And the art and science of our coffee is remarkable, very remarkable. After doing my due diligence with my team, we hired a couple companies and we started our research and due diligence on coffee. Our vision now truly to have the healthiest cup of coffee in the world and the yummiest and the best tasting cup of coffee. What we did not know is what we know now. The method and scientific method of roasting coffee that we own, which is exceptionally unique and very semi-exclusive in the world, less than 2% of all coffees in the world are roasted with a scientific arm like our coffee called infrared roasting. As you know, 98% of coffees in the world are flame-burned roasted coffee. With infrared roast coffee like our coffee, 3 great things and benefits happen. Number one, because the fire does not burn the coffee bean where you have an unequal roast in the outside and the inside of the coffee, with infrared you have fire that goes inside porcelain box that penetrate the same wavelength of heat that cook the coffee bean. So you have an equal roast inside and out. What that does, 3 things. Number one, it reduces the acidity level immensely. It gets rid of bitterness, and most importantly, you preserve those high antioxidants and molecules that reside in coffee that science is discovering today that is very healthy to the human brain and body functionalities. So that's really our cup of coffee. That's how it started. And I met an individual who shared with me some interesting work, if you will, on a thermogenic fat-burning compound. So we looked into that, and we looked into the low glycemic load, low glycemic index, the brain index, and all that great stuff. And when we looked at that, we figured, you know what, we have a potential and opportunity here to offer to the world for the first time something called thermogenic fat-burning coffee. So that's really how the journey started back in late 2008. April 2009, we launched for the first time what we call Be Skinny, which is thermogenic fat burning coffee. And truly, it's been a remarkable journey, and the testimonials are sensational. I got to tell you myself, I'm an engineer. I'm anal. I'm not an easy sell at all. If you tell me something, I'll listen to you. If you show it to me, I'll believe you. If you involve me and I benefit, I'll accept and market. That's just the way I am. That's just the way I treat others. So I believe in true values and benefits to the end user. It has to have value that will benefit people, and it has to be real. No hype, nothing fake and phony. So I had to put it to the test myself, and truly in 3 weeks I burned 22 pounds of fat. Now I am a triathlete, and for me to lose 22 pounds of fat was not easy. Long story behind that, but that's truly how the journey started with the thermogenic fat burning compound.
That is quite a story. By the way, because I keep thinking of the family, they were everybody in the family, wife and kids, were right along with you on this journey, right? I mean, they wanted to jump on board from the get-go?
Yeah, well, not from the get-go. In the beginning, of course, they had no knowledge of the industries. They just know they have a crazy husband and a crazy father who's an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs are crazy dreamers. So having 2 car dealerships, having another small business, and starting up a new company called Boresha in an industry that I had no clue what it was about, in a depressed economy, definitely they were not my fans in the beginning because they did not see me at all. Sacrifice and compromise had to be paid in advance, and in the beginning they had no idea what was going to happen. But they knew one thing for sure, that the reason I started this company is to be able to enjoy time freedom with them and accomplish what I needed to achieve with them. And truly that's what's happening now. I'm excited because my wife and I travel the world together. We were growing together. She's a huge leader in this company, and my children, one of them, my 18-and-a-half-year-old, on her 18-year-old birthday, I said, honey, are you still going to medical school? She said, no, I'm going to study science, nutrition, and economics. I said, why the change? She said, I'm just going to take your company over at some point.
That's right. They had no interest in the cars, and look what's happening now.
Exactly.
Now, this coffee, which was the signature product, is absolutely, was then and is now, one of a kind. Wouldn't you say it's one of a, I always love to be involved with one of a kind of anything. This is a one of a kind cup of coffee that unbelievably tastes good. I was having trouble with coffee, to be honest with you, George. I don't think I could have handled the double latte thing that the Starbucks, because my guts would turn upside down with that. Maybe it's the acidity. I don't even know what it was. I could not drink coffee. I can drink this coffee. I enjoy the coffee. And to think that you can lose weight by drinking a cup of coffee, did you tell your scientists, this is what I want to do? Or they came to you and said, this is what's possible, and here's what our options are? How did it come out that we now have this thing called Be Lean? And you renamed it. It used to be Be Skinny. Now it's Be Lean. And you can lose, well, you lost 22 pounds. Joe Giuliano, who was with us last week, I don't think he put a number on it. He just said he lost a whole bunch of weight. You can lose weight by drinking coffee. Come on, George, is that really possible?
Well, it's actually far more impactful than losing weight. I wouldn't say lose weight. I would go as far as burn fat. Because the exciting part, as you know, about losing weight for the most part, we lose body mass and body water. With our product, you just burn the fat and maintain your body water and muscle mass. Pretty exciting stuff. No, quite frankly, I had no idea such thing existed. I'm just blessed and fortunate, and it fell on my lap. And, our previous supplier came into me and said, listen, I've made a discovery, and I created this thermogenic fat-burning compound, and it will turn coffee into a fat-burning little device. So that's how the journey started. I did my due diligence and research, and we teamed up, and initially we had a 20-year licensing agreement, and recently we decided as a company that we want to take this around the globe, and we had past challenges to do that with our past suppliers, so we decided at that point to incorporate newer technology, make this more advanced, because the technology we had was lived a lot older than that. And it's been a great journey through the recent development, if you will, to create build our own laboratory, create our own research and development team of amazing, amazing folks who have been in the health and wellness industry, in the food and beverage industry, in the science world, if you will. All three of them for over 100 years, and they're amazing people. And we started that venture, and we developed and created our own products. We filed our own patents, and that all happened recently.
Now, as a CEO, and boy, I'm getting the vibes that this is absolutely you were destined to be placed in the CEO position of something. Your job as a CEO, anybody's CEO position, is to create the vision,
right,
and then pass that vision on to others. So, George, what's the vision?
I want to make a change to the world. I want to put a huge dent in obesity and diabetes. That's my vision. My vision is to help 1 million people around the world burn over 1 billion pounds of fat. If my team and I can accomplish that, and our goal is to do that within the next, by the year 2020.
What a vision. And it started with coffee, and it is the signature product. It is a one-of-a-kind, but you know what? Spilling off of that, there keeps coming more one-of-a-kind, not to be found in any other venue product. You're now up to 4. You want to talk about the foundation of these other products? Because you know what? They're just as good, and they do the thermogenic thing just like the coffee does, and they're also one-of-a-kind. What about the other products, George?
Yeah, we have coffee, and here's what's so exciting. It's not just coffee, and I don't know if you want me to go over that, because really, truly, I believe, again, in values and benefits a lot, because we got to be careful what we put in our bodies. It's very crucial. Our coffee is AA Arabica, which is really a pretty high-graded coffee. It's also 100% fair-traded coffee, supporting farmers who handpick our coffee bean. That's huge for us. Truly from day one, before the name Boresha came about, that was our goal, and our vision is to really have value and benefit in everything that we offer to the end user. So with fair trade, we pay the small farmers around the world up to 10%, up to 400%. More than they receive in the open market. So that's pretty awesome. Also, our coffees are 100% USDA certified organic.
Organic. Big word, George. Means a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, no pesticides, no fertilizers, no chemicals. So pretty cool. And it's fair traded coffee. Now, we also have fat burning tea. Mango peach fat burning tea, and with green tea extract, and it's very delicious. I know you had Dr. Mishrafi, and he talked about that. I'm certain people love that product, and it tastes great, and it also burns fat. We also have a lemonade that's fat burning, among other great functions that it delivers in nitric oxide delivery and so forth.
Let me just tell you, I only recently, within the last week, had an opportunity to try that lemonade, because it was the one product that was just recently released, and I got to tell you, I was really, I said, oh, geez, let me get this thing in here, and it was, to me, a flashback to when I was a kid having that Reamer's. But that thing was so good that I went, he did it again. George did it again. He keeps coming up with these products that are one of a kind and taste so great that I can easily recommend that to anybody and say, this is the best tasting lemon drink you're ever going to have. And that tea, George, has also been reformulated. That's a winner, too. So in terms of, look, people drink things throughout the entire day. You may kick it off with coffee, and you may actually be one of those like yourself, George, that drinks it through the rest of the day ad infinitum. But somebody is sipping something all day, every day, and if it's not just water, it needs to be something that's completely healthy. There's where these products really come in, and they're thermogenic, they are fat-burning, and, okay, not that you're losing weight, but you're losing fat, and that as a vision, you want to lose how much total weight up until 2020? How many total pounds?
1 billion.
1 billion pounds of fat. between now and 2020, and you're well on your way to do it with these products. And it started by you meeting with a team and you taking a sip of coffee, and the guy says, "Hey, how about coffee?" That's how it started, George. Unbelievable. All right.
You got it.
Unbelievable. So these products come along. Now, the newest thing that had to be launched in the 7th month on the 7th day is a plan called, of all things, 7 to 7. And so this is a new component to the Boresha family, that there is a roadmap, a plan to follow that will help those who may be listening to us, give them a guide, help them along and get accomplished what they'd like to get accomplished in their own particular health situation. How did the plan come about? You got to be excited about this plan, George, because I think as someone as astute as you with every other avenue of your life, you've always followed a plan, okay? And here, when it comes to your own personal health, to give folks a plan that they can follow, just as the natural. This is like ham and eggs. This goes together. You gotta have a plan no matter what you do. Tell us about this 7 to 7 plan and how that came about.
Yeah, the wisest people in the world surround themselves with people smarter than they are. And quite frankly, that's my job, is to invest in people and recruit people who are very wise and very smart, who have great heart and character, who have the right intentions with the right end in mind. So truly, I have an amazing team, Doc, who we got together about 3 years ago. And we knew we needed a system. People need a system. These amazing products are phenomenal, but they're really not in their catalyst. But you can take these products and go out and eat 10 hamburgers and not exercise. These products are not going to do any good. They're not secret formula. Mm-hmm. They're great. They make a lot of difference. They do work. But you got to do your job too. So truly, we got together and we figured out, you know what? We need a system. We need to educate people. They need to be more informed in the most simplistic way and so forth. And that's how the journey started. And we're pretty thrilled about the 7-7 because it's a nutrition program and a guide that people can easily follow. Not only put these products in their body and the protocol of when and how to put these products in their body, but also what to eat and what not to eat, what to avoid and what to put in their body. And the most important thing is what portion of food they need to eat. It's not just the fact that you need to eat healthy, low glycemic foods, but also you can eat healthy, low glycemic food and put a high load of it in the food, and that would not be good either. So a little bit of exercise also makes a difference, and that's really where this 7-7 came from.
We are going to be getting the ability to educate the people that we come into contact with a 7-7 plan. It sort of comes out in little dribbles every week. Another little piece of the puzzle gets revealed to us. I got 2 pieces of the puzzle so far. I'm waiting for the 3rd piece. I'm going to guess there's 7 pieces altogether. But as
the guys like that, but we have to take our time and make sure this is, again, even though it's been years, but my team got together and they've been working diligently on it. They've been following the policies, the procedures, the protocols, and make sure it's legal and all that stuff. And we have to get a dietitian and nutritionist and all that great stuff to make sure everything's aligned.
Now, this is a product line that'll lead you to controlling your health. If you're listening out there, and I'll tell you what, as a medical doctor, I have countless numbers of people in front of me who are either full-blown diabetic right now or they're so on their way that it won't take them long before they get there. And it's pretty tragic to see this, George, and from my perspective as a medical doctor, I really have to apologize to them because I haven't really been able to help them with a plan. I'm feeling pretty good about this whole thing, George, because I see a way that I can now not just tell them, you got to watch your carbohydrate intake, you got to do this, and not really help them much beyond that. I think I see a change in my own practice. It's why I glommed on to your company, because I recognize this is the #1 health problem of today, and my goodness, for the next generation, what does this mean for us in terms of what our children are going to be exposed to? So I thank you for having those missions and visions and the original family conflict develop, because from it, Now there is a way that I can participate to help people that I always wanted to help in a way that I can present them these one-of-a-kind products, and they can start taking control of their own particular health situations, getting them out of these jams that they got into. I now see I can do it. And I want to thank you, George, because nobody else in the entire, of all the health industries has ever decided to do this with something as basic as what you drink. And you put one-of-a-kind products that no other company has ever come up with yet into the marketplace, and now we can use these products to help enrich ourselves. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
George, I'm going to allow you are the president, and I don't want to occupy your time with much more than the thank you of getting up so early in the morning and spending some time with us. Any closing statements you want to make, Mr. President?
Well, I appreciate that. No, thanks for having me on the show. Look forward to meeting you face to face and working together toward a common goal, all of us really. And that's making a difference in this world. Whatever we do, so long as we take ourselves out of the equation and make it not about us and centered around other people and focus on other people's needs, other people's wants, what's important to them, and help make a difference in their little world and help them reach their little goals, whatever they may be. And by helping a lot of people get what they want, we get things we want, and that's really why this company got started, and that's what I encourage everybody to focus on. And I thank you for inviting me on the show, and look forward to meeting you soon.
Oh, keep an eye out on your map now for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to explode, and with your visit today, you've solidified the whole thing. Western Pennsylvania is just becoming to be aware of Boresha, and in the next few months, look out for a major meteoric rise in your company in our region. I'll be looking forward to meeting you face to face myself. George, thank you so much for coming aboard with us this morning.
Well, thank you, Doc. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. There you have it. The president, not that president. No, this president. The Boresha president and CEO, George Najjar, spending some time with us this morning. Pretty dynamic guy. I never... I can check off now. I've met a real president, and he does make a difference. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we can open it up to you. You can call up and ask about and talk about anything you'd like. If it's the Boresha line, that's fine. I'll give you an idea of where to start getting all of these products and a testing and a tasting that's coming up in the near future. We now switch gears and we open it up to you. It is Open Phone Friday. Get 'em up, out of town version of the show. Be right back in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on this Friday morning version of the show. Fridays are becoming, and will be for some time, becoming Boresha Fridays. It's a good day for us to continually make you aware of this new one-of-a-kind product line available. And today, wouldn't you know, had the opportunity to meet the guy that all started it all, the president and CEO of Boresha, named George Najjar. It was a pleasure to listen to him, was it not, in terms of how this all came about, and the fact that he knows he's got a one-of-a-kind company with one-of-a-kind products, and to have that as his vision to lose, I think he said 2 billion pounds, and between now and 2 billion pounds of fat between now and 2020. That's his vision, and he's going to do it. Now, just some closing things about Boresha products. We're leading up to a tasting. Now, you can do this one of two ways. If you've been titillated to try this product, you won't find, this is not in the stores. It is not going to be in the stores. The only way you're going to be able to get this product is to head to the website. We'll have some on hand here at all times, but the most economical way of getting it is to go purchase it online. The way you do, if you want to do that now and jump ahead about 3 weeks, because we're going to have a tasting here in my office on the evening of August 13th, 6 o'clock. And we'll have all the products here for you to test and taste. If that's the kind of guy you are and you go, you know what, I've heard this crazy stuff before. I'm just not gonna do that. I'll go to that free tasting in the doctor's office and I'll give it a try, and that's perfectly okay with me. If you want to jump ahead of this, here's how to do it. You want to go to my product site, which I've taken all the products that I endorse and I put them on my Pittsburgh Eye Protocol website. So go to pittsburgheyeprotocol.com. And on the opening page, click on the icon marked products, and lo and behold, the page will open up, and there's a squared smack dab on the top of the list is Boresha International. Click on it. It takes you right to the Boresha International site, takes you to my portal at the site, which allows you to purchase whatever products you want right there, and you can do it today. You don't have to wait till August 13th. If you do want to wait, however, we'll be talking more and more next week. Our guest is going to be Dr. Angelo Mitsos. He's a podiatrist from Newcastle. He first introduced me to the Boresha line, and he's been busy in surgery both this particular Friday morning and last Friday morning. And so last week we had Joe Giuliano here, and lo and behold, this week George Najjar. Next week, Angelo himself, Dr. Angelo Mitsos, will be here. We'll be giving you more information and titillating you a little more to come out and see us on the 13th of August. But if you can't wait, go to the website now. Make it easy. You can go to BoreshaInternational.com/Dr. Courtney. Or to avoid all that, just go to PittsburghEyeProtocol.com, and then on the opening page, click on the product icon, and you'll be there, and it'll take you right to the website. There are 4 products. George talked about 3. He didn't mention Be Sweet. There's a coffee called Be Lean. There is a tea called Be Trim, and there is a lemon drink called Be Fit. And the additional product is a sweetener, a natural sweetener. There's no sucraloses, there's none of the oses in there. It's all from naturally occurring sugars with a very low glycemic index. Another one-of-a-kind product. So of the list of 7 products that are ultimately going to be available at Boresha, as of right now, 4 are on the block. They're out there. I'm anxious to see up and coming what the remaining 3 will be. This is a 7-to-7 plan, There will be 7 products ultimately, and they'll be sort of revealed, I guess, as time moves on. I didn't ask George about when the next one's going to be released, but nonetheless, they'll all fit into the scheme of one of a kind. When they are launched, you'll know that there is no other product like it. It too will be a one of a kind, or it won't make it on the list. And we'll let it go at that for now. You got that? I want to talk about it, you can give us a call. Let's say as the month is clicking by, we're moving into August after next week. Looking at August as it's unfolding right now, on the 4th of August, it'll be Susie Weiss going to be our guest on that day. Of course, she's always in the first Monday of a month because she's in my office with a free seminar on essential oils, the Young Living Essential Oils, and that'll be held on August 7th at 2 o'clock. If you think you'd like to learn more about essential oils, Susie Weiss is the gal to bring you up to speed on those and how you can be able to be in charge of controlling other medical issues through these wonderful essential oils, whether they are inhaled via diffusers or whether you place them on the skin or whether you can take them internally. And the unique thing about this company is that they're the only company, all their products can be used internally and have no hazards associated with them. They're that pure. And so Susie Weiss, our guest on the 4th, she'll be in the office on the 7th. Dr. Vavavoom herself is going to be back. She went to the Scandinavian countries for an extended period of time. We missed her in the month of July. She was over there. Now she'll be back with us on the 6th of August, and she'll be interested in sharing what I believe would have happened to her over there with you at that point. Going to be with us on the 11th of August. This gentleman, this physician, Dr. Jerry Tennant, has a story that is heart-wrenching, but he has conquered his own medical issues by literally inventing a way for him to fix himself. Because he figured that if he had to wait for somebody else to come up with a way to do it, he would have never been able to recuperate from some pretty serious medical challenges. In so doing, he's discovered a completely new way of looking at how to treat the body and how it can go awry using voltage as the battle cry instead of pHs or other energy issues. With voltage, one can resonate and do rather well with how to fix the body as he did in the language that he created. Dr. Jerry Tennant will be our guest on August 11th. Looking out into the month of August, too, just having completed yesterday Wednesday, actually, yesterday, Thursday, the July Eye protocol. We're now in waiting to launch the new protocol for the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August. If you have an eye affliction, and particularly if it's retinal affliction, namely things like macular degeneration, or whether that's wet or dry, doesn't matter, glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy. These are 3 retinal disorders that really do not have a conventional approach to correcting anything that has to do with them. About all that can be done is if you have the wet form of macular degeneration, there are these injections of Avastin which will stop the bleeding. But that doesn't restore the vision. The message to all of you out there, whether you're personally afflicted or whether you know somebody who is afflicted, is that you can reverse these conditions. You can restore your vision, but you won't be able to do it by any conventional program because there just is none. There's a non-conventional program. It was devised by Dr. Edward Conrad, a Pittsburgh ophthalmologist who 12 years ago said no mas and left us to go to Phoenix, Arizona, and he's, over these 12 years, refined his protocol so much that he's placed it in the hands of other doctors. I'm fortunate enough to be one of those doctors throughout the country, and we're getting similar results in 3 days. 85% plus individuals get their eye condition turned around and reversed on their way to restoring that vision 85% of the time. So if you'd like to be a part of the up-and-coming August protocol, give us a call here at 724-942-3002. You want to ask for Sarah? Sister Sarah will be able to take care of you and get you lined up, get all your records in, and get them off to Ed. He is involved. Dr. Ed Condrat is involved with every single case that we see here, and we can't be happy enough to have them know there's an ophthalmologist on this particular case, on your case, as well as a local optometrist, Dr. Lisa Bowen, who evaluates every single patient that comes through here. Also on day 1 and day 3, that's how we know how well we're doing, because we assess you at the beginning and then 3 days later do it all over again. And I know we've convinced Dr. Lisa that we're doing something really different here. So you can also call to reserve that seat if you want to be a part of the Essential Oils program. Once again, that number 724-942-3002. And that's just about the way it's shaping up. Should tell you, by the way, speaking of products, one that's really making its mark around here, you are responding by coming in and actually asking me to talk about it. And that is, those of you who may be afflicted with blood pressure issues, you've heard the story about this product called Neo 40. It is a one-of-a-kind product developed by Dr. Brian Nathan. He's not a medical doctor. He's a PhD, biochemical guy who has come up with this way of increasing your nitric oxide level that really works. The way you know it is there's actually testing strips that can allow you to test your nitric oxide level by just touching the back of your tongue with one of the test strips to see a color change. And if your color change isn't all that great, giving your product Neo 40 to raise your nitric oxide levels. This is really the first step that needs to be taken to allow us, as so oftentimes the request has been, to get you off of blood pressure medicines. And we want to do that unless we've made a correction. Getting a vasodilatation effect from nitric oxide, which will lower blood pressure, is that first step. We'll also team up the use of Neo 40 with ECP, which creates brand new blood vessels, and the combination of those two therapies appear to be the way to pretty routinely get people off of those blood pressure medicines that they would like to shed, but you just can't shed them unless you've made corrections, and these are the kind of corrections that would be necessary. Probably one additional thing will be increasing the magnesium levels by using a magnesium supplementation to bowel tolerance. Those three, I believe, are the most appropriate ways to get this blood pressure issue turned around. Increase the magnesium levels, increase the nitric oxide levels, and increase the number of blood vessels through the use of ECP. That triple whammy, if you will, is well within your purview. Come on in to see us if you have blood pressure issues and would like to be able to rid yourself of taking these dastardly products. Would say also give us a call at 724-942-3002. Ozone, oh my goodness, the Ozone Express has left the building. I mean, this thing has this is running down the tracks completely like a locomotive, and people are coming from all over the place trying to see if ozone can help them. The likelihood is it will help, certainly in pain problems, using the technique developed by Dr. Frank Schallenberger, where we're injecting ozone locally at wherever the pain problem happen to exist. Usually it's the big joints of the body, like the low back, the shoulder, the hip, the knee, the ankle, things like that. Anyway, using a double-prong approach of first injecting a solution containing procaine, homeopathics, various vitamins, minerals, as well as a dash of a steroidal component. You should be able to put the fire out and the pain problem out relatively easily within a short period of time, and then even make a correction that is able to reverse the pathology that first brought you to the problem. It's amazing statement that Frank made when he was on our show, and it turns out that it's working that well for those who are involved with it here. I would refer you, if you have questions of it. First of all, if you have questions about ozone, you say you never heard about it before, then you really haven't been listening to this show. But that's okay, because we can bring you up to speed by telling you to do this. Go to my website at djcmd.com. And on the opening page, you want to click on the icon marked Archives. When you do, YouTube will pop up. All of my radio shows are on the YouTube. And when YouTube pops up, in the search engine, type in these 3 words, Courtney / now here's the big one, but it's phonetic, Schallenberger, Schallenberger, Schallenberger / ozone. Type those 3 words in the search engine, hit the button, and lo and behold, 3 shows pop up. Oddly enough, they're entitled Ozone 1, 2, and 3, and you'll be able to sort of relive what we all initially went through here when Dr. Frank Schallenberger was my guest, and the story of ozone got to be told by the man who deserves to be able to tell it, literally known as the godfather of ozone therapy here in the United States. He did such a great job that the power of his voice still resonates today. Everybody comes in already knows about Dr. Schallenberger. They've gone to his website. By the way, I strongly recommend that you do that because he's got some explanatory videos there that will help you learn more about ozone, even in those 3 shows will. Anyway, after you've really done your research on it and you have a problem, it just doesn't seem to be corrected, whether that's a local pain problem or whether that's a systemic problem. And I'm talking about the bad ones, like fibromyalgia, or chronic fatigue immunodeficiency syndrome, or how about Lyme's disease, another one you're not going anywhere with conventional doctors, or how about Epstein-Barr, mononucleosis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of malarial diseases that don't have a fix anywhere in sight in the conventional world. Ozone therapy given intravenously seems to play a heck of a role. All right. I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. We enjoyed El Presidente. I'm talking about, the Boresha president being with us. I look forward to being with you on Monday. So until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.